what's happening? I hope you're all well. So Tyson Fury knocks out Dillian Whyte with an uppercut. And, you know, Dillian Whyte, that was the, what? So he got knocked out with an uppercut against Anthony Joshua. He got knocked out with an uppercut against Povetkin. And he just got knocked out with an uppercut against Tyson Fury. This clearly seems to be a weakness for Dillian Whyte. But either way, Tyson Fury, let's talk about the fight. Dillian Whyte came out as a southpaw. And I've seen him do this once before. He did it against Dave Allen. He came out as a southpaw. However, the thing is, his southpaw, he wasn't a very good southpaw because his feet were too narrow. And you could just tell that he wasn't used to fighting as a southpaw. So he came out as a southpaw, but he wasn't used to fighting as a southpaw. And he hadn't got experience of fighting as a southpaw at a high level. So the problem with this is, he's trying it for the first time. I don't know if he's been practicing it in the gym or what have you, but he hasn't done it at a high level in a fight, and it just looked, to me, I mean, it did make Tyson Fury have a look, but I thought it was kind of a bit pointless, to be honest with you. I thought Dillian Whyte needed to get into the ring, round one, and just get into his rhythm with what he's planning on doing for the rest of the fight. So coming in as an orthodox, round one, that's what I thought Dillian Whyte should do. I thought to myself, it's a waste of time. And predictably, he came out round two as an orthodox fighter after losing the first round. Dillian Whyte never really got into his rhythm in the fight, and one thing that was key is that Tyson Fury was physically stronger than Dillian Whyte. And I was thinking to myself, who's going to be physically stronger? Because Dillian Whyte is a physically strong guy. And at some point in the fight, it became apparent to me that Tyson Fury was the physically stronger guy, and that, you know, Dillian Whyte is a rough and tough guy, so that takes away a lot of what Dillian Whyte is looking to do in there when it becomes clear that, you know, Tyson Fury is the physically stronger guy. So here's the thing: if Tyson Fury is physically stronger, when they're coming together, he's pushing Whyte back to the ropes, but he's on the back foot. So the guy coming forward is now thinking to himself, "Hold on a minute, you know, I'm on the front foot, but whenever it gets on the inside, I'm being pushed back." And that can really sway the momentum, and that can take the momentum away from the forward fighter, because the forward fighter is now thinking, well, whenever it gets on the inside, which is where the shorter fighter wants to, the guy on the front foot wants to get on the inside, and whenever it gets on the inside, the front foot fighter is getting pushed back, so that can take away a lot of momentum away. So Dillian Whyte, he didn't really get into any type of rhythm. Tyson Fury was a lot sharper in this fight than he was against Deontay Wilder. He was a lot quicker. He was a lot more fleet of foot. And although he wasn't as good as against Vladimir Klitschko, he was quick. He was popping out a fast jab, and it just seemed a bit too much for Dillian Whyte. It seemed a little bit too much for Whyte. It just seemed a little bit too much. It wasn't Tyson Fury at his best, but it was enough because Dillian Whyte's feet are slow. I've seen Dillian Whyte use a very effective double jab in the past. I didn't see that double jab in this fight against Tyson Fury. He needed that double jab in this fight. He needed that double jab because, one, Tyson Fury's got the reach advantage. And so that's one disadvantage right there. Tyson Fury, in fact, I don't know if the reach advantage was that much, but I'd say Tyson Fury, if anything, had the reach advantage. And Dillian Whyte's a short guy. So you're already at a disadvantage, fighting a shorter fighter. You're fighting a taller fighter. You're already, and you've got less reach. You're already at a disadvantage. And because of Tyson Fury's technical skill and the way he knows his way around the ring, it may be the case that one jab isn't enough. Dillian Whyte needed that double jab. I don't know why he didn't use that double jab. So Tyson Fury was able to just box on the back foot. It was pretty routine for Tyson Fury, to be honest with you. I've seen Tyson Fury box on the back foot like that numerous times. You know, he boxed like that against Christian Hammer. He boxed like that against Vladimir Klitschko. He boxed like that against Deontay Wilder in the first fight. You know, it was pretty typical Tyson Fury on the back foot, to be honest with you, but just not as good as he used to be, if I'm being honest, from 2015. So Dillian Whyte just didn't have what it took to beat that. It wasn't anything. It was effective, but it wasn't spectacular. You know. So I'm not gonna say it was a great performance in Tyson Fury. It was pretty solid performance. The finish was good. The finish was good. You know, I need to see what round that was, because I was watching the fight and then I don't know what round that was, but the finish was good. But with regards to the performance overall, it was pretty routine for Tyson Fury. He wasn't doing anything spectacular. You know, he was popping out the jab, he was landing the right hand. You know, he was tying Dillian Whyte up effectively on the inside. You know, it was pretty routine performance. Dillian Whyte really let himself down in this fight because he wasn't using his double jab that I've seen him use before. Not only that, but I also think that Dillian Whyte had a lack of not knowing what to do when he got anywhere near close. He was swinging that overhand right in there, and it was just missing. It was just missing way off the. It was just way off that overhand right. I think what Dillian Whyte needed to do, and which he wasn't doing, 1, the double jab, 2, the jab, 3, the jab to the body, severing the jab. He needs to take his time and just focus on getting the jab out. Just focus on getting the jab sorted, you know. He just needed to focus on getting the jab sorted for the first few rounds. Not come out as a southpaw, not swinging in any big right hands. Just come out rounds 1 to 4, jab, double jab, jab to the body, triple jab. Just throw Fury off his rim. He didn't do any of that. I think Dillian Whyte was I don't think he was as confident as he normally is, to be honest with you. I don't know whether it was because he was up against Fury and he knew the challenge. I don't know whether it was because he was the away fighter. No, it's how Dillian Whyte was the away. He hasn't been the away fighter since when he fought Anthony Joshua. So I don't know if it was because he was the away fighter, maybe because he knew the challenge against Fury, or because he waited so long for a world title, according to him, because I still think he could have fought Pulev, Brazil, Ortiz. But he saw it as, you know, he was waiting so long to get a title fight, and then he just froze when it finally came. I don't know. But Dillian Whyte in the build-up to this fight didn't seem like how he normally behaves. And Dillian Whyte in the ring seemed a bit more timid than I'm used to seeing him. So, I don't know about... It's Dillian Whyte's confidence in this fight that is another thing. Like take the Anthony Joshua fight, for example. He showed a lot more aggression and a lot more behaving like himself in the ring than he did here. Here he almost seemed a bit, I don't know. He seemed a bit timid. I don't know. I'm not used to seeing Dillian Whyte, you know, he just seemed a bit timid, not as confident. And I was saying that before the fight in the build-up. So Dillian Whyte, you know, Tyson Fury, he had a very, very good finish with that uppercut. And I just want to see what round that was. It was round 6. So he finished it with an uppercut. Dillian Whyte's been hit with that shot, knocked out 3 times by an uppercut. Very open to it. And, you know, he was hurt. He tried to get up, you know, respect to Dillian Whyte. He got up, but when he got up, it just looked... it looked like he couldn't continue, you know. It looked like he couldn't continue. Was the round nearly finished? I'm just going to check. 2:59 in the round. So that was just before the round ended. Well, what can I say? Routine performance from Tyson Fury, but a good finish. That's what I will say. And Dillian Whyte, you know, respect to him for getting in there and trying to do his thing. I think that I've seen Dillian Whyte perform better than that. I think I've actually seen Dillian Whyte perform better than that before. You know, but he went in there, he tried to do his thing, and it didn't work out for him. Respect for getting in there, man. Respect for getting in there. I hope to see him fight again. And Tyson Fury, what do I want to see him do next? I want to see him fight Usyk. Based on what I saw with Usyk versus Joshua, and Tyson Fury now, I'd actually be picking Usyk to win that fight. I don't. You see, Fury had the speed advantage in this fight against Whyte. He won't have that against Usyk. Fury, you know, he was able to keep it really. He beat Dillian Whyte by keeping it really simple. He's going to need a bit more if he's going to fight Usyk. But I want to see him fight Usyk. Against Joshua, I'm not as interested in that fight, but you know, whoever wins out of Usyk and Joshua, you know, that will obviously be the fight. But for Fury, I want to see him fight Usyk. I think that's a great fight. I picked Usyk in that fight. I wouldn't count Fury out of it though. And that's it, man. I want to know what you guys make of the fight. What did you make of Fury's performance? Do you, like me, think it was pretty routine with a good finish at the end? Do you think that Dillian Whyte froze in that fight like I think? Because I think I've seen him perform better than that before. Let me know. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and I'll see you on the next video.